family secretly recorded themselves calling me their personal ATM and saying they wouldn't care if I dropped dead, but my cousin accidentally sent me the video. So I cut them off financially and exposed their years of exploitation with $247,000 worth of receipts at a family meeting. Until a few nights ago, I was a trusting 28-year-old named Maya. I thought my family loved me, but that all fell apart with a single text. I was folding laundry when my phone lit up. It was my cousin Jenna. I smiled because she usually sends me funny dog videos, but the second I heard my mom's voice, my stomach dropped. Maya should count her blessings. She'd be nothing without us. My face got hot and I almost stopped the video, but I made myself keep watching. The recording was blurry and it was clear someone left their phone recording by accident, but there was no mistaking what they were saying. I wouldn't even care if she dropped dead tomorrow. My dad laughed. That's our Maya. At least she's good for one thing, the money. More laughing. I gripped my phone so hard my knuckles turned white. If Maya ever tries to stop giving us cash, my cousin Jenna, the one who sent the video, said proudly, we'll just guilt trip her. She's too weak to say no. It works every time. I felt cold all over. They were talking about me like I was their personal ATM, a machine to be used up and controlled. For years, I had been helping them. I skipped vacations and worked hundreds of extra hours. I had enough money saved to go back to school and become a nurse, which was my dream, but I put it on hold to make sure my parents were never broke. And this is what they really thought of me. A loser and a doormat who was also their money machine. I wanted to cry, but I also felt a strange sense of relief. Surely my cousin sent me this to help me, right? Wrong. All at once, the video disappeared and a new alert popped up. Message deleted. My cousin had realized her mistake. She was maybe panicking somewhere, hoping I was too busy with laundry to have seen it. I should have called her out right then. I should have confronted all of them, but instead, I put my phone down. They thought I was a pushover, and I was about to prove them wrong. First, I just sat on my bed for hours, staring at the wall. Their words echoed in my head. Count her blessings. Nothing without us. Too weak to say no. The worst part was, they were right. I had been weak. I let myself believe my dad's money problems would end, that he'd really start looking for a job. So I paid his mortgage for 5 years. I paid for my sister's art school, which she quit after 1 year, leaving me with a debt. I paid for my mom's endless emergencies that always popped up on my payday. I always did it without asking questions, because that's what family does, right? But that one video destroyed every excuse I made for them, and now I had the upper hand. They thought they got away with it, and their next payment was due in a few days. This time, things would be not alike. The next morning, everything felt strange, like I'd been living in a fog and had just woken up. My phone buzzed. A text from my mom. Morning, sweetie. Just saying hi. Hope you're doing great. I stared at the message. It was too nice. She never texted just to chat. Had I really never noticed this before? Sure enough, a few minutes later. Oh, by the way, rent is due soon. Can you send it by Friday? Love you lots. There it was, the same old game, but I wasn't playing anymore. The love you felt so fake, just another trick to control me. My fingers started to type my usual, of course, or no problem, maybe even an apology for being slow, but I deleted it all and just wrote, I can't this month. I put my phone down, my heart pounding. 4 simple words I'd never dared to say. A minute passed, then 2. What do you mean you can't? I could feel her anger through the phone. I had never said no, not once. I didn't answer right away. I sipped my coffee and let her worry. More texts flooded in. Maya, this is serious. We're depending on you. You know we have no other options. Then my cousin chimed in. Hey girl, your mom's freaking out. Everything okay? I almost laughed. Was everything okay? Everything was perfect. I was finally taking my life back. I took a deep breath and replied, I have some unexpected bills. Can't send anything. I added a shrug emoji. No long reason. No apology. The silence that followed told me everything. For the first time, I said no, and they were fully lost. My mom was trying to think of the right way to make me feel guilty, but I knew exactly what my next move was. I sat in my apartment bathroom, phone buzzing constantly as mom called repeatedly. Each ring felt like a hammer against my skull, but I didn't answer. Instead, I screenshotted every guilt-tripping text that arrived, building my own evidence file. The messages escalated quickly from fake concern to pure manipulation. Maya, answer your phone now. This is ridiculous. We raised you better than this. Your father is having chest pains from the stress. I almost laughed at that last one. Dad's only stress came from figuring out which casino to visit next. My hand stayed steady as I documented each message, creating a folder labeled reality check. For years, I deleted these texts out of shame. Not anymore. The pounding started at 7 a.m. sharp. Mom's fists hammered against my apartment door while her voice echoed through the hallway. I grabbed my phone and crept to the people, recording everything. Her face was twisted with rage, nothing like the sweet mother act she performed in public. I know you're in there, Maya. Open this door right now. Her mask had completely dropped. This wasn't a concerned mother. This was someone losing control of their cash machine. I took a deep breath and opened the door calmly. Mom barged past me, her eyes scanning my apartment like a detective at a crime scene. She whirled around, demanding explanations, but I kept my phone recording in my pocket and repeated the same phrase. I have unexpected bills. What bills? You don't have bills. Where are your bills? She grabbed my mail from the counter, rifling through it frantically. Her fingers paused on a glossy brochure. Nursing school. Her eyes narrowed to slits. Selfish dreams when family needs you? She ripped the brochure in half, then quarters, letting the pieces flutter to the floor. You think you're better than us? Think you can abandon your family for some fantasy? A knock interrupted her rant. Mrs. Chen from next door peered in, concern etched on her weathered face. She glanced between us, taking in Mom's aggressive stance and my calm demeanor. Everything all right, Maya? I heard shouting. Mrs. Chen's eyes lingered on Mom. You know, I've noticed something interesting. Your family only seems to visit on the 1st and 15th of each month. Payday, isn't it? Mom's face flushed purple. She opened her mouth to respond, but movement outside my bedroom window caught my attention. Through the blinds, I spotted a familiar figure hunched over my car in the parking lot. Dad was rifling through my glove compartment, clearly searching for bank statements or anything valuable. Dad's in my car, I called out, watching Mom freeze mid-rant. Her face revealed everything. The quick glance at her phone, the guilty expression. She'd texted him to come. They were coordinating this attack. Mom recovered quickly, her fingers flying across her phone screen. Within minutes, I knew. Every family member would receive her version of events. Maya's having a breakdown. Maya's refusing to help with rent. Maya's lost her mind. My phone buzzed. Keisha, my childhood best friend. Your mom just called my mom crying. What's really going on? While Mom continued her performance for Mrs. Chen, I pulled up my credit report on my laptop. My stomach dropped. Multiple soft inquiries from apartment complexes I'd never contacted. They'd been tracking me, trying to figure out if I was planning to move. move. The violation felt like ice in my veins. My sister's Facebook post appeared in my notifications. Some family members forget where they came from. Blessed to have parents who sacrificed everything. Wish everyone understood that. Family, gratitude, disappointed. The comments were already pouring in from mutual friends, offering support and asking what happened. The isolation campaign had begun. Marcus arrived after his shift, still in his work clothes. He took in the scene. Mom's aggressive energy, the torn nursing brochure on the floor, my eerily calm expression. His first instinct was diplomatic. Maybe just pay this month to keep peace while you figure things out. I pulled up 2 years of text messages, scrolling through the patterns I'd been blind to before. Mom's emergencies hit like clockwork. Exactly 3 days after each payday. Same wording, same amounts, same manipulation. Look at this, I showed him. Every single time. The furnace breaks in July. The car needs repairs right after I mention overtime. Dad's mysterious medical bills that never have documentation. Marcus's expression shifted from concern to anger as the pattern became undeniable. Mom noticed his change and doubled down, raising her voice about family loyalty and obligation. But I was done being manipulated. My phone rang. Cousin Jenna, pretending concern, fishing for information. Hey girl, just checking in. You haven't seen anything weird lately, have you? Like any strange videos or anything? I played dumb, letting her sweat. Through the conversation, I could hear the panic in her voice. She knew I'd seen it. She knew I knew. The apartment complex manager knocked next, claiming a courtesy check, but really delivering Mom's message. He mentioned how my family was worried and reminded me about honoring thy father and mother. Mom had been spreading her story through their shared church, painting me as the ungrateful daughter having a mental crisis. I drove to the bank to change my accounts, but spotted my sister's car in the parking lot. She was slumped in the driver's seat, pretending to text but obviously waiting to follow me. I changed course, heading to Target instead. In the shampoo aisle, I heard her voice one row over. She's at Target now. No, hasn't gone to any banks yet. The surveillance was real. They were tracking my every move. At book club that evening, 2 members awkwardly brought up Mom's prayer request from Sunday service. Apparently, I was suffering from a mental health crisis and needed divine intervention. The story was spreading, carefully crafted to make me look unstable. I studied my bank statements that night, cross-referencing with my pay stubs. The pattern was sickening. Every raise I'd received over 5 years had triggered increased family emergencies. Someone had been monitoring my income, adjusting their demands accordingly. A message from an unexpected source. Sharon, Dad's ex-girlfriend. I heard what's happening. They did the same to me when I had money saved. Be careful, they'll escalate. Marcus's mother, a therapist, offered to mediate a family session. The offer was kind, but I recognized the danger. Any professional involvement could be twisted into proof of my mental instability. I had to handle this myself. Jenna's social media campaign continued with old photos from family gatherings, remembering better times when family meant everything. Miss these days. The comments painted me as the destroyer of family harmony. My elderly neighbor mentioned seeing Dad near my apartment, asking about spare keys. He'd claimed I often locked myself out and he needed access for emergencies. The web of lies kept expanding. Mom's texts to my friends revealed her desperation. She claimed I was showing bipolar behavior and needed intervention. The words were carefully chosen, not quite defamation, but enough to plant doubt. I recognized the pattern from when my aunt tried to stop enabling the family years ago. She'd ended up completely estranged, painted as mentally unstable by the same tactics. The memory strengthened my resolve as I organized my evidence files. Keisha arrived at my apartment the following evening, holding her phone with a triumphant expression. She'd recorded Mom's phone call, capturing the moment when Mom slipped and revealed her true feelings about our relationship. The entitlement dripped from every word as Mom explained how I owed them after everything they'd done. The family priest contacted me after Mom's dramatic prayer request at Sunday service. His tone shifted when I calmly explained my position about financial boundaries. He admitted my stance didn't sound unreasonable and ended the call quickly, clearly uncomfortable with being drawn into manipulation. I spent hours backing up every family text exchange to multiple cloud services, sending copies to Marcus for safekeeping. The documentation felt like armor against their gaslighting attempts. My visit to the police station proved frustrating. The officer listened politely but explained that family matters were civil issues without clear proof of theft. I left understanding I'd need to protect myself through other means. 3 coworkers approached me separately over the following days, each sharing their own stories of family financial abuse. Their support reminded me I wasn't alone in this struggle. One offered her brother's legal services pro bono, having escaped similar exploitation herself. While organizing paperwork, I discovered Mom had been intercepting my mail at our old shared family P.O. box that I'd forgotten to update. Several opened bank statements lay scattered in the box, privacy violated without hesitation. Sharon met me at a quiet coffee shop, her warnings chilling. The family had filed false insurance claims using her information when she'd dated Dad. She'd barely avoided fraud charges by proving she wasn't involved. Her hands shook as she showed me the documentation she kept. Mom cornered me at a restaurant where I was meeting a client. She played victim loudly when I mentioned the credit checks, drawing stares from other diners. I maintained my composure and left quietly, letting witnesses see who was truly creating the scene. Dad's text about Grandma being sick arrived on schedule. He claimed she needed to see me before it was too late. I'd fallen for this manipulation before. Mysterious illnesses that vanished once money transferred. My teenage cousin risked family wrath by secretly messaging me. Grandma was perfectly fine. The entire family was gathering at her house, planning their next move against me. Even the younger generation could see through the lies now. During a staged encounter at the grocery store, Mom's public mask slipped momentarily. While maintaining her sweet smile for passing neighbors, she hissed threats about how I'd regret my choices. The contrast between her public and private face was stark. Dad's offer to forgive everything came with conditions. He needed a co-signer for a loan, revealing the real reason behind the pressure campaign. His deadline was approaching, and desperation colored every interaction. My sister ambushed me at the gym, voice rising until the personal trainer intervened. He later mentioned she'd seemed unhinged, confirming what I already knew. Their masks were slipping in public. Research into public records revealed Dad hadn't paid the mortgage in 3 months despite my regular payments. He'd been pocketing the money while letting the house slide toward foreclosure. The betrayal cut deep. Uncle Ray pulled me aside at a family gathering, admitting what I'd suspected. They talked about me like an ATM when I wasn't around. His discomfort with their behavior was evident, though he wouldn't speak up publicly yet. Bank records painted a clear picture of Mom's emergency patterns. The same amounts, the same stores, luxury purchases labeled as as medical needs. The systematic fraud was documented in black and white. Marcus took time off work to change my locks personally. His choice to support me over his mother's pressure to stay neutral meant everything. We developed a code system for texts, assuming my family might monitor my messages. Despite my rage, I refused to air family business on social media. Maintaining dignity while they spiraled publicly became my quiet rebellion. Jenna's birthday dinner provided an opportunity. I arrived unexpectedly and calmly asked about the video in front of everyone. Her stammered contradictions and the knowing looks exchanged between cousins revealed cracks in their united front. My aunt confirmed what I'd suspected. The family had discussed keeping me in line during last Thanksgiving when I wasn't present. The premeditation made their betrayal worse. Two aunts stopped responding to mom's group texts about my selfishness. Their silence spoke volumes about shifting family dynamics. Grandma called directly, confusion evident in her voice. Mom's stories kept changing, and even the family matriarch was beginning to doubt the narrative being spun. The pharmacy encounter with Dad revealed the truth. Cornered and desperate, he admitted to gambling away the mortgage money but still demanded I fix his mess. His entitlement knew no bounds. Church friends began asking Mom uncomfortable questions. How could a working nurse not afford rent unless she was supporting others? The community was connecting dots Mom had hoped would remain scattered. My sister's former roommate reached out through Instagram. She'd been expelled for non-payment despite my sending tuition money directly to my sister. Another piece of the fraud puzzle clicked into place. Uncle Ray's revelation hit hard. This wasn't new behavior. They'd done the same thing to Grandpa's sister decades ago, driving her to move states to escape their exploitation. The generational pattern was sickening. At family events, I protected my young cousins by refusing to discuss adult matters in their presence. Modeling healthy boundaries became important as the family fractured. 6 family members privately messaged support, though fear kept them from speaking publicly. The tide was turning, slowly but surely. Mom's attempt to access my work retirement account failed when HR required in-person verification with ID. Her desperation was escalating as avenues for exploitation closed. The hairdresser mentioned Mom had seemed desperate when trying to borrow money, claiming I'd cut her off cruelly. Even strangers could see through the performance now. Former family friends began reaching out, apologizing for believing the narrative. They'd witnessed Mom's public meltdown and recognized the truth. Credit monitoring alerts showed 3 credit card applications in my name, all denied due to the freeze I'd placed. Their attempts at identity theft were escalating. Dad's loan deadline approached rapidly. The pressure intensified daily as I faced the choice between letting him face consequences or sacrificing my dreams again. At the family barbecue, Mom's brother finally spoke up. His declaration about how they'd bled me dry for years rang across the gathering. The truth was becoming impossible to ignore. The realization hit me hard. Saving them again meant sacrificing nursing school forever. The cycle would never end unless I stopped enabling it now. Instead of arguing at the barbecue, I calmly displayed my bank statements on my laptop. 5 years of payments laid bare for all to see. Even supporters gasped at the totals. The exploitation undeniable in numerical form. Cousins began comparing notes, realizing I'd given more than all of them combined while being labeled selfish. The hypocrisy was staggering when viewed collectively. The truth created clear divisions. Enablers rallied around my parents while others acknowledged the exploitation. Neutral parties were forced to choose sides as evidence mounted. Dad's loan application was denied without my co-signature. He was forced to beg his brother for help, his ego crumbling publicly as reality set in. Mom launched her final manipulation attempt, invoking all she'd sacrificed raising me. The guilt trip might have worked before, but not now. I responded by posting receipts in the family group chat. Every payment, every transfer, showing I'd repaid them tenfold. The evidence was delivered without emotion, letting facts speak. Dad received his final foreclosure notice, giving him 90 days. His brother agreed to temporary help, but the conditions were humiliating for someone who'd lived off his daughter's labor. Marcus's family embraced me fully during this period. His mother offered the maternal support I'd never truly had, showing me what healthy family looked like. 3 family friends offered to testify about witnessing financial exploitation over the years. The community support was overwhelming and unexpected. My final presentation to the family was comprehensive. $247,000 over 5 years, documented with every receipt and transfer. The undeniable evidence left no room for denial. Great Aunt Rose, the extended family matriarch, declared her shame at my parents' behavior. Her condemnation carried weight that shifted family opinion further. The cousin who'd sent the video finally admitted the truth. She'd sent it deliberately after years of watching the exploitation, unable to stay silent anymore. Her confession validated everything I'd suspected. Bank statements showed clear patterns, transfers timed to Mom's shopping sprees and Dad's casino visits. The truth was literally in black and white for all to see. I created a visual timeline on poster board, mapping payment requests against my life events. The pattern of exploitation became undeniable when displayed graphically. Family members who'd been in denial couldn't ignore the evidence. One by one, family members acknowledged the pattern they'd enabled or ignored. Apologies and support trickled in, though some came too late to matter. My sister's vicious social media attack used edited screenshots to paint me as cruel and heartless. The desperation in her post was obvious to anyone paying attention. Her attack backfired spectacularly when my friends responded with their own screenshots. They'd saved her post bragging about spending my money, and the contrast destroyed her narrative. Some mutual friends wavered, wondering if I was being too harsh on struggling family. Public opinion split as they weighed family obligation against blatant exploitation. Marcus traveled for work during the worst of the social media storm. Standing strong without his daily support tested my resolve, but I maintained my position. I chose dignified silence on social media despite the urge to defend myself. Truth would speak louder than arguments, and my restraint contrasted sharply with their public meltdowns. The avalanche of private messages from others escaping family financial abuse gave me strength, but I knew the real test was coming. Grandma's summons arrived through multiple channels, texts, calls, even a handwritten note delivered by my teenage cousin. The family meeting was set for Saturday afternoon at her house. I walked in to find my parents already positioned near Grandma, Mom clutching tissues while Dad wore his most pathetic expression. The living room was packed with extended family, everyone arranged like an audience at a trial. Mom had clearly been spinning tales for hours. Without speaking, I connected my laptop to Grandma's TV and opened the video file. The room fell silent as their own voices filled the space. Mom's face drained of color as she heard herself calling me worthless. Dad's laughter about not caring if I dropped dropped dead echoed off the walls. Jenna's proud declaration about guilt-tripping me hung in the air like poison. The reactions were immediate and visceral. Several aunts gasped. Uncle Ray shook his head in disgust. Grandma's knuckles went white as she gripped her cane. But the most damning moment came when Mom, panicking, blurted out her confession about taking money from Grandma too, claiming it was for my expenses that never existed. Grandma stood slowly, her cane trembling with rage. She announced she was changing her will immediately to protect family assets from what she called the leeches. Her lawyer would be contacted Monday morning. The matriarch had chosen justice over enabling. The fraud reports took 3 hours to file at the police station. I documented the credit card applications, the opened mail, the forged signatures on documents I'd discovered. The officer explained I could press charges, but I chose to file the reports for protection without pursuing prosecution. Setting boundaries didn't require destroying them completely. My parents' reaction to the fraud reports was explosive. They raged about betrayal while the entire family watched their masks disintegrate completely. Mom threw a glass against the wall. Dad kicked over a chair. Their true nature was on full display, and even their most loyal supporters stepped back in shock. My sister lunged at me, screaming about ruined credit and destroyed futures. 3 cousins immediately intervened, physically restraining her while she thrashed and cursed. The violence she'd hidden beneath her artistic persona erupted for all to see. Dad's final attempt at manipulation crumbled when my aunt revealed the truth. I'd been mostly raised by my grandparents while my parents partied through my childhood. The grandfather who'd actually tucked me in at night. The grandmother who'd attended every school event. The facts destroyed his narrative completely. I walked out with Marcus and his family, leaving behind those who only saw my worth in dollar signs. His mother had prepared a celebration dinner at their house. His father had already started calling me daughter. His siblings treated me like I'd always belonged. This was family, chosen through love, not trapped by blood. The restraining orders were granted within 2 weeks. The judge reviewed the evidence of harassment, the fraud attempts, the documented threats. My parents were legally required to maintain distance. My sister was included after her physical attack. The paper felt like freedom in my hands. My parents shifted their focus to other relatives, but found the family had grown wise to their tactics. Cousins compared notes about suspicious requests. Aunts questioned every emergency. Uncle Ray started a family group chat specifically to verify any financial claims. The exploitation network had collapsed. My nursing school acceptance letter arrived on a Tuesday morning. The financial aid package was generous. My savings finally available for my dreams instead of others' demands. I started classes immediately, throwing myself into anatomy and patient care with the dedication I'd once reserved for enabling my family.